Good morning, Inspired Illuminators. It is me, Jennifer Engel, your highest possibility states subconscious coach. It is Thursday here in Illinois. It's raining pretty good this morning, but luckily it's dissipated so that I can get out and do my walk. You know, this morning I posted a quote, and I'm gonna probably reiterate. I actually did write quite a bit on my reflection of the quote, but I still feel like sometimes hearing a personal voice to go with the quote is very helpful. So thank you for joining me on today's Jaunt with Jen. Today the quote was something like, New Age people say that there's an 8-8 Lion's Gate energy system that is opening. And even if you're not into New Age stuff, there are hints on my walk, just a few, that at least in Illinois, now if you're in the other half of the world, the opposite is happening for you. So when I talk about December and January, that's where you want to tune in. But here in Illinois, in the United States, and also in different parts of our country, I guess, we have kind of flip-flop seasons, really. So this is really specific to the Midwest. Here in the Midwest, when I go for my walk, I am starting to see hints of fall, hints of autumn. And you have to look pretty closely. Some leaves are beginning to turn color. And that's our hint that autumn is coming. Now, it's kind of interesting when you're young, you think autumn and winter come because the sun gets farther away, when actually the opposite is true. The colors change on the trees because the intensity of the light dissipates. I thought that was so fascinating when I learned it, that it's actually the coldest here when the sun is the closest to us. But if you ever take a flashlight, and this is how the science teacher taught us, and you get closer and closer to your object, the light dissipates, it spreads out. The heat from the light dissipates and spreads out, which is why it gets colder. But as it pulls back, it becomes a stronger beam. And that stronger beam creates more heat and light. So humans are tied to the Schumann resonance of the earth. What that is the earth basically sings a song, hums, at like 8.34 or something like that. But her tune changes in frequency a little up and down sometimes. And that change in frequency affects us. Some people might pick up on it consciously, but most people have no clue it's happening, but it is happening on a subconscious level. So whether you believe in an 8-8 Lion's Gate or not, there is an energy system getting ready to come through. The light is going to start to dissipate. At first, that will really illuminate the colors on the trees, right? And in our life, it will illuminate what brings us the most joy and happiness. But as the light continues to dissipate, as our world starts going more and more into darkness, you know, the sun setting from 9 p.m., 8 p.m., 6 p.m., 5 p.m., 4 p.m., we will also be plunged into more darkness. So darkness represents our subconscious. Dark has gotten a bad name because a lot of people don't know that they shove, excuse the language, a lot of shit into their subconscious. And it's like shoving shit into your garage, into a shed, into a closet, into a drawer. If you don't open it up once in a while, look at it, clean it, organize it, it's going to spill out. It might even get critters in there. You know, I'm a teacher, and some people who forget that they brought food to work and then they leave for the summer, mice come in, right? Sometimes in our homes, we might get ants or other bugs that we don't want. The same thing happens in our subconscious. And that's why I think a lot of people don't like the dark or quiet time alone. Because what tends to surface first is the creepy crawly things. And that's why I believe a lot of people don't like the dark, and it's gotten a bad name. So I've been noticing some of my own, and here's another thing. Depending on your thought pattern, it's just a pattern. And I like that, because if it's just a pattern can be changed. Okay, and you can change the pattern if it's not serving your highest good. But what I'm understanding is how big the pattern is, how loud the pattern is, will determine kind of how long it might take you to change the pattern. If it's something small, you'll be able to change it quickly. So for example, for me, you know, all my life I was told I was sick. From sick up until probably even now. That's a big ass, that's a 47-year-old pattern to change. So it's going to take a while. And sometimes, what I've learned as a behavior teacher, things get worse before they get better. There's always a birthing pain. That's the law of balance. Before we experience the joy, we experience the birthing pains. So if you could kind of almost picture, we're going to start to experience birthing pains from now until about December, January, when the light will start to return again. Okay? So I bring this up because for those of you who don't know, in 2014 I went through cancer. Even just last year, almost at this exact same time, patterns, I'm telling you, patterns happen. A year ago today, I was in the hospital and they were like drilling into a part of my spine to take a bone biopsy. And that's when they found I had a little bit of mild cancer again. And then into fall, I got radiation. Luckily, it was only 3 doses, and then I was done. So here's what happens when you're dealing with your sick pattern or whatever pattern is. I learned that changing the pattern will become easier over time. So maybe, you know, from birth until 19, I had this big sick pattern. And that was the first time, 19 years old, I was able to turn the pattern around. And then I was able to work on other things, like learning. So sometimes your pattern might have to do with your physical body. Sometimes it's going to have to do with your thoughts. Sometimes it'll have to deal with your emotions. You kind of flip-flop what you're working on, because we have lots of things we're working on. But now, a year later, I'm still having some physical issues, and Went to the doctor, found out what some of the issues were, got some medicine, taking care of that part, but they are finding something on an x-ray. And so I know I'm always like, a lot of people, when they look at me, they think brave and strong. And I am. But I would be lying, and I like to put on a good show, if I wasn't experiencing some fear. But that's where my own book and thinking about the matrix is actually helping me. It's like, okay, I'm in quadrant 4. I'm a little afraid, but I'm moving forward. And then what I did was I looked at pictures and patterns 6 months from now, like a year or 2 ago. And that's when all the good stuff was kind of like coming in. So, and then when I think about it, I'm like, this time they're not like drilling into me, right? This surfacing of sickness might keep coming up, and then it's actually getting easier to deal with rather than more difficult. Now, this isn't going to always be the case for someone who might be ill. I'm thinking about several people in my life. Sometimes the pattern of sickness is the lessons we need to learn are acceptance and letting go, which is really, really hard. A lot of people don't want to let go. Even if somebody has been sick and in pain their whole lives, Sometimes people will hang on when they're sick and in pain because people in this life are hanging on to them. So it depends what the lesson is, okay? But what I wanted to say is that right now you might start to see some of the things that are not serving you. And what's happening is the intensity, the amount, is going to be dependent upon how much out of tune you may be in a certain area. So if you think of ourselves like instruments, some people are in tune, so they might not experience what I'm talking about. And some people are a little out of tune, so it just takes a little tweak. What they're going to start seeing and popping up might be more like annoyances, like gnats around them, but they just do a little mosquito spray and they're good or whatever. And some of us, we might be really out of tune. And so what we're going to start seeing is going to be, not so fun. But what I want people to know is this is where you are. It's like a GPS. It's showing you what's not serving you your highest good. But if you can learn the lesson, learn what tune-up or overhaul is needed, and you apply it and you do it, and if you plug in your GPS to December or January, at least you know, just like if you're driving in a car, right? If you're driving through a bad neighborhood or a place that isn't so aesthetically pleasing, you know you don't have to stay there. You keep moving the car forward to your desired destination. And so when I'm experiencing fear, one way that I walk through it is by plotting my end destination. Knowing that there is an end destination in sight helps me walk through the fear. And all those things I talk about, mindfulness, meditation, visualization, script flipping are also hugely beneficial. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can just go to my YouTube channel. If I can remember, I'll put the links below about what those are. So if you're starting to experience some annoyances or some things that are coming up to the surface, take heed. Plot your destination point to the end. And it does help to come up with some goals, some benchmarks, some things that you can do, mile markers along the way to help you get at your end destination. I hope that this has helped someone today so that you can use your own coping strategies, your own words of wisdom of how you get through uncomfortable dark moments in order to end up at the light. Because now, more than ever, the world needs those coping strategies, those words of wisdom, and it needs you. Peace and blessings.